prakritischa paraibasa evam sarvatma sambandham nabhyang padmang harer abhut tatra brahma bhavad bhuyas chaturvedi chaturbukhaha sanjato bhagavat chatya tatkalang kila choditaha sisrikshayang mating chakre purva sanskara sanskritaha Dadarsha kevalang dvantang nanyat kim api sarvataha uvacha purutas tasmai tasya divya saraswati kama krishnaya govinda he gopi jana ityapi valabhaya priyavahner mantrang te dasyati priyam tapastvang tapa etena tava siddhir bhavishyati Ata te pesa suchirang prinan govindam avyayam shweta dvipang pating krishnang golokasthang paratparam prakritya gunarupinya rupinya paryupasitam sahasradala sampanne koti kinjalka bringhite bhumischintamanis tatra karnikare mahasane samasinang chidanandang jyoti rupang sanatanam Shabda Brahma Mayang Venum Vadayantam Mukhambuje Vilasini Ganavritang Swaik Swair Angshayar Abhishtitam Atavenu Ninadasya Traimurti Maikatihi Spuranti Prabhiveshashu Mukhabjani Swayam Bhuvaha Gayatring Gayatas Tasmad Adhigatya Sarojajaha Sanskritaschari Gununa Dvijata Magabattataha Traya Prabudho Tavidhir Vijñata Tattvasakaraha Tushtava Veda Sarena Stotrena Ninakeshavam Chintamani Prakara Sadma Sukalpa Vriksha Lakshavriteshu Surabhira Vipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Shatasang Brahmasevyamanam Govindamadi Purushang Tamahang Bhajami Venum Kwanantam Aravinda Dalaya Taksham Barhavatang Samasitam Buddha Sundurangam Kandarpakoti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindamadi Purushang Tamahang Bhajami Alola Chandrakala Sadvanamalya Vangshi Ratnangadang Pranaya Keli Kalavilasam Shamang Tribhanga Lalita Niyata Prakashang Govindamadi Purushang Tamahang Bhajami Angani Yasya Sakalendriya Vrittimanti Pashyanti Panti Kalayanti Chirang Jaganti Ananda Chinmaya Sarujvala Vigrahasya Govindamadi Purushang Tamahang Bhajami Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Anantarupam Madhyang Purana Purushang Navayovanang Cha Vedeshu Durlabham Adurlabham Atma Bhaktau Govindamadi Purushang Tamahang Bhajami Pantastu Koti Shatas Vatsara Sampragamyo Vayoratapi Manaso Munipungavana Sopyasti Yat Prapadasinya Vichintya Tatve Govindamadi Purushang Tamahang Bhajami Ekopya Saura Chayatung Jagadanda Koting Yachchakchirasti Jagadanda Chaya Yadantaha Andantarasta Paramanu Chayantarastam Govindamadi Purushang Tamahang Bhajami Yad Bhava Bhavi Tadhiyo Manujasta Taiva Samprapya Rupa Mahimasanayana Bhusha. Can we put the verses up on the board so that everyone can read along? Suktayar Yameva Nigama Pratitaikstuvanti Govindamadi Purushang Tamahang Bhajami Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitabhistabhirya eva nijarupataya kalabhihi Goloka eva nivasatya kilatma bhuto govindamadi purushang tamahang bhajami. Premanjanachurita bhakti vilochanena santak sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti. Yang shama sundaram achintya gunaswarupam govindamadi purushang tamahang bhajami. Ramadi murti shukalani amena tishtan nanavataram akarod bhuvaneshu kintu. Krishna swayang samabhavat paramak pumanyo govindamadi purushang tamahang bhajami. Yasya prabha prabhavato jagadanda koti koti shvashesha vasudhari vibhuti binnam. Tad brahma nishkalam anantam asesha bhutam govindamadi purushang tamahang bhajami. Maya hi yasya jagadanda shatani sute traigunya tad vishaya veda vitaya mana. Sattvaavalambi parasattvam vishuddha sattvam govindamadi purushang tamahang bhajami. Ananda chinmaya rasatmataya manaksu yah praninang pratipalan smaratam upetya. Lilayatena bhuvanani jayatya jasram govindamadi purushang tamahang bhajami. Golokanamni nijadhamni tale chatasya devi mahesha haridhama suteshu teshu. Te te prabhava nichaya vihitascha yena govindamadi purushang tamahang bhajami. Shrishti sthiti pralaya sadhana shakti reka chayeva yasya bhuvanani vibharti durga. Icchanurupam api yasya chacheshtate sa govindamadi purushang tamahang bhajami. Kshirang yatadati vikara vishesha yogat sanjayate nahi tatak pratak esti hetoho. Yaksham bhutam apitata samupaiti karyad govindamadi purushang tamahang bhajami. Dipachireva hidashantaram abhyupetya dipayate vivrite hetu samana dharma. Yastadrigeva hicha vishnu taya bhavati govindamadi purushang tamahang bhajami. Yakaranarnava jale bhajati sma yoga nidramananta jagadanda saroma kupaha. Adhara shakti mavalambya parang swamurting govindamadi purushang tamahang bhajami. Yasyaika nishvasita kalamathavalambya jivanti loma vilaja jagadandanataha. Vishnur mahansa ihayasya kalabhishesho govindamadi purusham tamahang bhajami. Bhasvan yatashma shakaleshu nicheshu tejaha suyanki yat prakatayat yapi tadvaratra. Brahmaya esha jagadanda vidhana katta govindamadi purushang tamahang bhajami. Yat pada pallava yugang vinidhaya kumbha dvandve pranama samaye saganadhi raja. Vignan vihantu malamasya jagatrayasya govindamadi purushang tamahang bhajami. Agnirmahika kanamambu maruddishascha kalastatatma manasiti jagatrayani. Yasmad bhavanti vibhavanti vishanti yangcha govindamadi purushang tamahang bhajami. Yachchakshuresha savita sakala grahanam raja samasta suramurtirashesha tejaha yasya gyaya pramati sanghritakala chakro govindamadi purusham tamahang bhajami. Dharmota papa nichayak shrutayastapangsi brahmadikita patagavadayascha jivaha yaddatta matra vibhava prakata prabhava govindamadi purusham tamahang bhajami. Yastvindra gopa mathavendra mahosvakarma bandhana rupa palabhajana matanoti karmani nirdahati kintu cha bhakti bhajang govindamadi purusham tamahang bhajami. Yang krodha kama sahaja pranayadi piti vatsalya moha guru gaurava sevya bhavahi sanchintya tasya satrishing tanamapurete govindamadi purusham tamahang bhajami. Govindamadi purusham tamahang bhajami. Shriya kantaha kantaha paramabha purusha kalpatarabho Druma bhumish chintamani ganamayi toyamamritam Kataganam natyangamanam apipangshi priya sakhi Chiranandang jyotik paramapi tadasvadyam apicha Sayatra kshirabdhik sravati surabhibhyascha sumahan Nimeshardhakyo va brajati nahi yatrapi samayaha Bhaje shvetadvipang tamaham iha kolokam iti yang Vidantaste santakshiti virala chara katipaye Ato vacha mahavishnur bhagavantang prajapatim Brahman mahatva vijnane prajasarge chachenmatihi Pancha shloki mimang vidyang tvatsatattang nibodhame Prabhudhe jnana bhaktibhyam atmani ananda chinmayi Udeti nutama bhaktir bhagavat prema lakshana Pramana istat sarachara istat apyasaya nirantaram Bodhayan atmanatmanam bhaktim apyutamang labhet Yasya shreyaskarang nasti yaya nivritamapnuyad Ya sadhayati mameva bhakting tameva sadhayed Dharmananyan parityajya mamekang bhaja vishvasan Yadrishi shraddha siddhir bhavati tadrishi Kurvan nirantarang karma lokoyam anuvartate Tenaiva karmana dhyayan mang parang bhaktimicchati Aham hi vishvasya characharasya bijang pradhanang prakritik pumangscha Maya hitang teja idang vibharshi vidhehi tvam mato jaganti Ishvarak parama krishnaha satchidananda vigraha Anadiradir govindaha sarvakarana karanam Iti Shri Brahma Sanghita Sampurnam Harihi Om. Good morning. I think I need one of these book holders too. Thanks. So let's read the English, 5 verses each, going around, as we normally do. Who wants to start? I'll start while everybody gets the microphones. Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the Supreme Godhead. He has an eternal, blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, and he is the prime cause of all causes. The spiritual place of transcendental pastimes of Krishna is portrayed in the second verse. The super-excellent station of Krishna, which is known as Gokul, has thousands of petals and a corolla like that of a lotus sprouted from a part of his infinitary aspect, the world of the leaves being the actual abode of Krishna. The whirl of that transcendental lotus is the realm wherein dwells Krishna. It is a hexagonal figure, the abode of the indwelling, predominated and predominating aspect of the Absolute. Like a diamond, the central supporting figure of self-luminous Krishna stands as the transcendental source of all potencies. The holy name, consisting of 18 transcendental letters, is manifested in a hexagonal figure with sixfold divisions. The whirl of that eternal realm, Gokula, is the hexagonal abode of Krishna. Its petals are the abodes of gopis, who are part and parcel of Krishna, to whom they are most lovingly devoted, and are similar in essence. The petals shine beautifully like so many walls. The extended leaves of that lotus are the garden-like Dhamma, that is, spiritual abode of Sri Radhika, the most beloved of Krishna. The surrounding external plane of Gokula is described in this verse. There is a mysterious quadrangular place named Shwetadvipa surrounding the outskirts of Gokula. Shwetadvipa is divided into 4 parts on all sides. The abode of Vasudev, Shankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha are separately located in each of these 4 parts. These 4 divided abodes are enveloped by the fourfold human requirements such as piety, wealth, passion, and liberation, as also by the 4 Vedas, namely Rig, Sama, Yajur, and Atharva, which deal with the mantra and which are the bases of achievements of the fourfold mundane requirements. 10 tridents are fixed in the 10 directions, including the zenith and nadir. The 8 directions are decorated with the 8 jewels of Mahapadma, Padma, Shankha, Makara, Kachapa, Mukunda, Kunda, and Nila. There are 10 protectors, Dikpalas, of the 10 directions in the form of mantra, the associates of the hues of blue, yellow, red, and white, and the extraordinary potencies bearing the names of Bimala, etc., shine on all sides.
The Lord of Gokul is the transcendental supreme Godhead, the own self of eternal ecstasies. He is the superior of all superiors and is busily engaged in the enjoyments of the transcendental realm and has no association with his mundane potency. Krishna never consorts with his illusory energy. Still, her connection is not entirely cut off from the absolute truth. When he intends to create the material world, the amorous pastime, in which he engages by consorting with his own spiritual chit potency, Rama, by casting his glance at the deluding energy in the shape of sending his time energy, is an auxiliary activity. The secondary process of association with Maya is described. Ramadevi, the spiritual chit potency, beloved consort of the Supreme Lord, is the regulatrix of all entities. The divine plenary portion of Krishna creates the mundane world. At creation, there appears a divine halo of the nature of his own subjective portion, Swamsa. Radha Madan Mohan Ji ki jai. Mahaprabhu ki jai. Lakshmi Narsingh Dev Bhagwan ki jai. Samveta Bhaktagan ki jai. This halo is the divine Shambhu, the masculine symbol or manifestic emblem of the Supreme Lord. This halo is the dim twilight reflection of the supreme eternal effulgence. This masculine symbol is the subjective portion of divinity who functions as progenitor of the mundane world, subject to the supreme regulatrix Niyati. The conceiving potency in regard to mundane creation makes her appearance out of the supreme regulatrix. She is Maya, the limited, non-absolute apara potency, the symbol of mundane feminine productivity. The intercourse of these two brings forth the faculty of perverted cognition, the reflection of the seed of the procreative desire of the Supreme Lord. All offspring of the consort of the great Lord Maheshwar of this mundane world are of the nature of the embodiment of the mundane masculine and feminine generative organs. The person embodying the material causal principle, namely the great Lord of this mundane world, Maheshwar, Shambhu, in the form of the male generating organ, is joined to his female consort, the limited energy Maya, as the efficient causal principle. The Lord of the world, Mahavishnu, is manifest in him by his subjective portion in the form of his glance. The Lord of the mundane world,
Mahavishnu, possesses thousands of heads, eyes, hands. He is the source of thousands of avatars in his thousands of subjective portions. He is the creator of thousands of individual souls. The same Mahavishnu is spoken of by the name of Narayan in this mundane world. From that eternal person has sprung the vast expanse of water of the spiritual causal ocean. The subjective portion of the Sankarshan, who abides in Paravyom, the above Supreme Purusha, with the thousands of subjective portions, reposes in the state of divine sleep, Yoga Nidra, in the waters of the spiritual causal ocean. The spiritual seeds of Sankarshan existing in the pores of skin of Mahavishnu are born as so many golden sperms. The sperms are covered with 5 great elements. The same Mahavishnu entered into each universe as his own separate subjective portions. The divine portions that entered into each universe are possessed of his majestic extension, that is, they are the eternal universal soul Mahavishnu possessing thousands of heads. The same Mahavishnu created Vishnu from his left limb, Brahma, the first progenitor of beings, from his right limb, and from the space between his 2 eyebrows, Shambhu, the divine masculine manifested halo.
The function of Shambhu in relation to jivas is that this universe, enshrining the mundane egotistic principle, has originated from Shambhu. Thereupon the same great personal Godhead, assuming the threefold forms of Vishnu, Prajapati, and Shambhu, entering into the mundane universe, plays the pastimes of preservation, creation, and destruction of this world. This pastime is contained in the mundane world, hence, it being perverted, the Supreme Lord, identical with Mahavishnu, prefers to consort with the goddess Yoganidra, the constituent of his own spiritual chit potency, full of the ecstatic trance of eternal bliss appertaining to his own divine personality. When Vishnu, lying in the ocean of milk, wills to create this universe, a golden lotus springs from his navel pit. The golden lotus with its stem is the abode of Brahma, representing Brahma Loka or Satya Loka. Before their conglomeration, the primary elements in their nascent state remained originally separate entities. Non-application of the conglomerating process is the cause of their separate existence. Divine Mahavishnu, primal Godhead, through association with his own spiritual chit potency, moved Maya, and by the application of the conglomerating principle created those different entities in their state of cooperation. And after that, he himself consorted with Yoganidra by way of his eternal dalliance with his spiritual chit potency. By conglomerating all those separate entities, he manifested the innumerable mundane universes and himself entered into the inmost recess of every extended conglomerate, Virad Vigraha. At that time, those jivas who had lain dormant during the cataclysm were awakened.
The same jiva is eternal and is for eternity, and without a beginning, joined to the Supreme Lord by the tie of an eternal kingship. He is transcendental spiritual potency. The divine lotus that springs from the navel pit of Vishnu is in every way related by the spiritual tie with all souls and is the origin of the 4-faced Brahma versed in the 4 Vedas. On coming out of the lotus, Brahma, being guided by the divine potency, tuned his mind to the act of creation under the impulse of previous impressions, but he could see nothing but darkness in every direction. Then the goddess of learning Saraswati, the divine consort of the Supreme Lord, said thus to Brahma, who saw nothing but gloom in all directions: O Brahma, this mantra, namely Klim Krishnaya Govindaya Gopi Jan Vallabhaya Swaha, will assuredly fulfill your heart's desire. O Brahma, do thou practice spiritual association by means of this mantra, then all your desires will be fulfilled.
26. Brahma, being desirous of satisfying Govinda, practiced the cultural acts for Krishna in Golok, Lord of Svetadvip, for a long time. His meditation ran thus: there exists a divine lotus of 1,000 petals, augmented by millions of filaments, in the transcendental land of Golok. On its whole, There exists a great divine throne on which is seated Sri Krishna, the form of eternal effulgence of transcendental bliss, playing on his divine flute, resonant with the divine sound, with his lotus mouth. He is worshipped by his amorous milkmaid with their respective subjective portions and extensions, and also by his sectional energy, who stays outside, embodying all mundane qualities. Then Gayatri, mother of the Vedas, being made manifest, that is, imparted by the divine sound of the flute of Sri Krishna, entered into the lotus mouth of Brahma, born from himself through his 8 ear holes. The lotus-born Brahma, having received the Gayatri, sprung from the flute song of Sri Krishna, attained the status of the twice-born, having been initiated by the supreme primal preceptor, Godhead himself. Enlightened by the recollection of that Gayatri, embodying the 3 Vedas, Brahma became acquainted with the expanse of the ocean of truth. Then he worshipped Sri Krishna, the essence of all Vedas, with this hymn: I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the first progenitor, who is tending the cows, yielding all desires, in abodes built with spiritual gems, surrounded by millions of purpose trees, always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis or Gopis. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is adept in playing on his flute, with blooming eyes like lotus petals, with head decked with peacock's feather, with the figure of beauty tinged with the hue of blue clouds, and his unique loveliness charming millions of cupids.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, round whose neck is swinging a garland of flowers beautified with the moon locket, whose 2 hands are adorned with the flute and jeweled ornaments, who always revels in pastimes of love, whose graceful 3-fold bending form of Shyamasundara is eternally manifest. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose transcendental form is full of bliss, truth, substantiality, and is thus full of the most dazzling splendor. Each of the limbs of that transcendental figure possesses in himself the full-fledged functions of all the organs, and eternally sees, maintains, and manifests the infinite universes, both spiritual and mundane. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is inaccessible to the Vedas, but obtainable by pure, unalloyed devotion of the soul, who is without a second, who is not subject to decay, is without a beginning, whose form is endless, who is the beginning and the eternal Purusha, yet he is a person possessing the beauty of blooming youth. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, only the tip of the toe of whose lotus feet is approached by the yogis, who aspire after the transcendental and betake themselves to pranayama by drilling the respiration, or by the jnanis who try to find out the non-differentiated Brahman by the process of elimination of the mundane, extending over thousands of millions of years. He is an undifferentiated entity, as there is no distinction between the potency and the possessor thereof. In his work of creation of millions of worlds, his potency remains inseparable. All the universes exist in him, and he is present in his fullness in every one of the atoms that are scattered throughout the universe at one and the same time. Such is the primeval Lord whom I adore.
I adore the same Govinda, the primeval Lord, in whose praise men who are imbued with devotion sing the mantra suktas told by the Vedas by gaining the appropriate beauty, greatness, thrones, conveniences, and ornaments. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, residing in his own realm, Goloka, with Radha resembling his own spiritual figure, the embodiments of the ecstatic potency possessed of the 64 artistic activities, in the company of her confidants, Sakhis, embodiments of the extensions of her bodily form, permeated and vitalized by her ever blissful spiritual rasa. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is Shyam Sundar Krishna himself, with inconceivable, innumerable attributes, whom the pure devotees see in their hearts of heart with the eye of devotion tinged with the salve of love. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who manifested himself personally as Krishna and the different avatars in the world in the form of Ram, Nrsimha, Vamana, etc. as his subjective portions. I worship Govinda, the primary Lord, whose effulgence is the source of the non-differentiated Brahman mentioned in the Upanishads, being differentiated from the infinity of glories of the mundane universe, appears as the indivisible, infinite, limitless truth.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is the absolute substantive principle, being the ultimate entity in the form of support of all existence, whose external potency embodies the threefold mundane qualities, namely Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, and diffuses the Vedic knowledge regarding the mundane world. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose glory ever triumphantly dominates the mundane world by the activity of his own pastimes, being recollected in the mind of recollecting souls as the transcendental entity of ever blissful cognitive rasa. Lowest of all is located Devi Dham, mundane world. Next above it is Mahesh Dham, abode of Mahesh. Above Mahesh Dham is placed Hari Dham, abode of Hari. And above them all is located Krishna's own realm named Goloka. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, who has allotted their respective authorities to the rulers of those graded realms. The external potency Maya, who is of the nature of the shadow of the Chit potency, is worshipped by all people as Durga, the creating, preserving and destroying agency of this mundane world. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, in accordance with whose will Durga conducts herself. Just as milk is transformed into curd by the action of acids, but yet the effect curd is neither same as, nor different from its cause, namely milk, so I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, of whom the state of Sambhu is a transformation for the performance of the work of destruction.
The light of one candle being communicated to other candles, although it burns separately in them, is the same in its quality. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, who exhibits himself equally, in the same mobile manner in his various manifestations. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, who, assuming his own great subjective form, who bears the name of Shesha, replete with the all-accommodating potency and reposing in the causal ocean, with the infinity of the world in the pores of his hair, enjoys creative sleep, yoga nidra. Brahma and other lords of the mundane worlds, appearing from the pores of hair of Mahavishnu, remain alive as long as the duration of one exhalation of the latter, Mahavishnu. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, of whose subjective personality Mahavishnu is the portion of portion. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, from whom the separated subjective portion, Brahma, receives his power for the regulation of the mundane world, just as the sun manifests some portion of his own light in all the effulgent gems that bear the names of Surya, Kanta, etc. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, whose lotus feet are always held by Ganesh upon the pair of tumuli protruding from his elephant head, in order to obtain power for his function of destroying all the obstacles on the path of progress of the three worlds.
The three worlds are composed of the 9 elements, namely fire, earth, ether, water, air, direction, time, soul and mind. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, from whom they originate, in whom they exist, and into whom they enter at the time of the universal cataclysm. The sun, who is the king of all the planets, full of infinite effulgence, the image of the good soul, is as the eye of this world. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, in pursuance of whose order the sun performs his journey, mounting the wheel of time. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, by whose conferred power are maintained the manifested potencies that are found to exist of all virtues, all vices, the Vedas, the penances, and all jivas, from Brahma to the meanest insect. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, who burns up to their roots all fruitive activities of those who are imbued with devotion, and impartially ordains for each the due enjoyment of the fruits of one's activities, of all those who walk in the path of work, in accordance with the chain of the previously performed works. no less in the case of the tiny insect that bears the name of Indragopa than in that of Indra, the king of the Devas. I adore the primal Lord Govinda, the meditators of whom, by meditating upon him, under the sway of wrath, amorous passion, natural friendly love, fear, parental affection, delusion, reverence, and willing service, attain to bodily forms befitting the nature of their contemplation.
I worship that transcendental seat known as Svetadweep, where as loving consorts, the Lakshmis in their unalloyed spiritual essence practice the amorous service of the Supreme Lord Krishna as their only lover, where every tree is a transcendental purpose tree, where the soil is the purpose gem, all water is nectar, every word is a song, every gate is a dance. The flute is the favorite attendant. Effulgence is full of transcendental bliss, and the supreme spiritual entities are all enjoyable and tasty. Where numberless milk cows always emit transcendental ocean of milk, where there is eternal existence of transcendental time, who is ever present and without past or future, and hence is not subjected to the quality of passing away even for the space of half a moment. That realm is known as Goloka only to a very few self-realized souls in this world. On hearing these hymns containing the essence of the truth, the Supreme Lord Krishna said to Brahma, Brahma, if you experience the inclination to create offspring by being endowed with the real knowledge of the glory of Godhead, listen, my beloved, from me to this science set forth in the following 5 slokas. When the pure spiritual experience is excited by means of cognition and service, bhakti, super excellent unalloyed devotion characterized by love for Godhead is awakened toward Krishna, the beloved of all souls. The highest devotion is attained by slow degree by the method of constant endeavor for self-realization with the help of scriptural evidence, theistic conduct, and perseverance in practice. These preliminary practices of devotion, sadhana bhakti, are conducive to the realization of loving devotion. Loving devotion, than whom there is no superior well-being, who goes hand in hand with the attainment of the exclusive state of supreme bliss, and who can lead to myself.
Abandoning all meritorious performances, serve me with faith. The realization will correspond to the nature of one's faith. The people of the world act ceaselessly in pursuance of some ideal. By meditating on me by means of those deeds, one will obtain devotion characterized by love in the shape of the supreme service. Listen, O Vidhi, I am the seed, that is, the fundamental principle of this world of animate and inanimate objects. I am Pradhan, the substance of matter. I am Prakriti, material cause, and I am Purusha, efficient cause. This fiery energy that belongs specially to the Brahman, that inheres in you, has also been conferred by me. It is by bearing this fiery energy that you regulate this phenomenal world of animate and inanimate objects. Haribol. So let's turn to verse 33 and see if we can dig a little bit into the meaning of the very elevated purport. Advaitam achyutam anadim anantarupam adyang purana purushang navayovanang cha vedeshu durlabham adurlabham atma bhaktau govindamadi purushang tamahang bhajami.
Advaitam achyutam anadim anantarupam.
Advaitam achyutam anadim anantarupam.
Adyam purana purusham navayovanam cha.
Adyam purana purusham navayovanam cha.
Vedesu durlabham adurlabham atma bhakta.
Vedeshu durlabham adurlabham atma bhakta.
Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami.
Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami.
Advaitam achyutam anadim anantarupam.
Advaitam achyutam anadim anantarupam.
Adyam purana purusham navayavanam cha.
Adyam purana purusham navayovanam cha.
Vedeshu durlabham adurlabham atma bhakta.
Vedeshu durlabham adurlabham atma bhakta.
Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami.
Govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami. Word meanings. Advaitam, without a second. Achyutam, without decay. Anadim, without a beginning. Anantarupam, whose form is endless or who possesses unlimited forms. Adyam, the beginning. Purana Purushang, the most ancient person. Navayauvanam, a blooming youth. Cha, also. Vedeshu, through the Vedas. Durlabham, inaccessible. Adurlabham, not difficult to obtain. Atma Bhaktao, through pure devotion of the soul. Govindam, Govinda. Adi Purusham, the original person. Tam, him. Aham, I. Bhajami, worship. Translation: I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is inaccessible to the Vedas, but obtainable by pure unalloyed devotion of the soul, who is without a second, who is not subject to decay, is without a beginning, whose form is endless, who is the beginning and the eternal Purusha, yet he is a person possessing the beauty of blooming youth. Please repeat. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is inaccessible to the Vedas, but obtainable by pure unalloyed devotion of the soul, who is without a second, who is not subject to decay, is without a beginning, whose form is endless, who is the beginning and the eternal Purusha, yet he is a person possessing the beauty of blooming youth. Purport by His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. Advaita means indivisible truth, who is knowledge absolute. Brahman, the infinite, emanates from him as his effulgence, and God immanent, Paramatma, as his constituent. But nevertheless, he remains one and indivisible. Achyuta means that though myriads of avatars emanate from him as subjective portions, and millions of jivas as separated spiritual particles, still he remains intact as the undivided whole of fullest perfection. Though he indulges in exhibiting the pastimes of birth, etc., still he is without a beginning. Though he disappears after the pastimes of his appearance, still he is eternal. Though without origin, yet he is with an origin in his pastime of appearance, and although eternal in essence, he is still a person in the full bloom of youth. The sum and substance of it is that, though he possesses diverse and apparently mutually contradictory qualities, still they are in universal harmonious concordance by dint of his unthinkable potency. This is what is meant by Chid Dharma, transcendental nature, as distinguished from the material. His graceful threefold bending form with flute in hand possesses an eternal, blooming youth and is above all unwholesomeness that is to be found in limited time and space. In the transcendental realm there is no past and future, but only the unalloyed and immutable present time. In the transcendental sphere there is no distinction between the object and its qualities, and no such identity as is found in the limited mundane region. Hence those qualities that seem to be apparently contradictory in light of mundane conception, limited by time and space, exist in agreeable and dainty concordance, in the spiritual realm. How can a jiva realize such unprecedented existence? The limited intellectual function of the jiva is always contaminated by the influence of time and space, and is therefore not in a position to shake off this limitedness. If the potency of cognitive function does not extend to the realization of the transcendental, what else can? In reply, Brahma says that the transcendental absolute is beyond the reach of the Vedas. The Vedas originate in sound, and sound originates in the mundane ether. So the Vedas cannot present before us a direct view of the transcendental world, Goloka. It is only when the Vedas are imbued with the Chit potency that they are enabled to deal with the transcendental. But Goloka reveals itself to every jiva soul when he is under the influence of the spiritual cognitive potency, joined to the essence of ecstatic energy. The ecstatic function of devotion is boundless and is surcharged with unalloyed transcendental knowledge. That knowledge reveals Goloka Tattva, the principle of the highest transcendental, in unison with devotion, without asserting itself separately, but as a subsidiary to unalloyed devotion. That knowledge reveals Goloka Tattva, the principle of the highest transcendental, in unison with devotion, without asserting itself separately, but as a subsidiary to unalloyed devotion. Om Jnanatimurandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militang Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitang Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeyaham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupang Sakrajatang Sahagana Raghunathanvitang Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabatutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitangsha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Let's see. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. I offer my respectful obeisances unto His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is very dear to Lord Krishna on this earth, having taken shelter of His lotus feet. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatitishtarine. Our respectful obeisances are unto you, O spiritual master, servant of Saraswati Goswami. You are kindly preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya Deva and delivering the Western countries which are filled with impersonalism and voidism. So in the verse and purport we just read, Srila Prabhupada's spiritual master, Saraswati Goswami, was defeating impersonalism and voidism, as does the hymn of Brahma Samhita. And when you talk to impersonalists and when you tell them that Krishna has these mutually contradictory qualities, like being the oldest person and yet being always youthful and so forth, sometimes, my experience has been anyway, that some of them just tell me I'm crazy. Is your brain not working? One guy kept repeating, and it was his philosophical argument, is your brain not working? I said, that's just calling me names. That's not really engaging in what I'm talking about. But it's hard to reach them because they're very addicted to the idea that the impersonal Brahman, which is explained in this purport as being the effulgence of Govinda's transcendental body, is the ultimate goal of realization, the ultimate highest absolute realization. So the qualities of Krishna, they tend to think of as still something material, or sometimes they say Saguna Brahma, he's Brahman with qualities, but they want to transcend that and experience Nirguna Brahma without qualities. Actually, Saguna, Nirguna really means, as our acharyas have explained, without the unwholesomeness. This is what he's describing here, and let me get back to 33. That there are material qualities, and they're always unwholesome. They're not conducive to happiness and spiritual health. So he says that his graceful threefold bending form with flute in hand possesses eternal blooming youth and is above all unwholesomeness that is to be found in limited time and space. So some people can't conceive of, the mind can't conceive of how beyond unlimited time and space there's form and beauty and kindness, mercy, humor, ecstasy, all these different qualities that are exhibited by Krishna. But we can understand from the scriptures, from hearing from superior authorities that that's true, and we can realize through unalloyed devotion of the soul and mixed with ecstasy. What does he say? It is only when the Vedas are imbued with the chit potency that they are enabled to deal with the transcendental. But Goloka reveals itself to every jiva soul when he is under the influence of the spiritual cognitive potency joined to the essence of ecstatic energy. The ecstatic function of devotion is boundless and surcharged with unalloyed transcendental knowledge. That knowledge reveals Goloka Tattva, the principle of the highest transcendental, in unison with devotion, without asserting itself separately, but as a subsidiary to unalloyed devotion. In the 7th verse of chapter 2 of the first canto, it says that Bhakti Yoga Bhagavat, Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojtaha Janayat Yashu Vairagyang Gyanang Chayadahaitikam. So it's not that by cultivating vairagya and cultivating jnana we can eventually come to bhakti. Yes, we have to be equipped with jnana and vairagya, but they're coming out of bhakti, or they're automatically coming. If we can cultivate bhakti, then we will also be able to exhibit complete jnana and vairagya. So this verse and purport reminds me of the 87th chapter of the 10th canto, which is the prayers from the Vedas personified, in which that question was asked: how can the material mind understand? How can material sounds convey that which is transcendental? And then the Vedas pray. The answer is given by citing the prayers of the Vedas themselves. and they're offering prayers to wake Vishnu up at the beginning of his day. That he, just like a king sometimes, he sleeps at night and then his royal courtiers come up so that he's happy. They wake him up by singing songs about his glories, his wonderful exploits, and his good qualities, and how he's beloved by the people, and so forth. So similarly, the Vedas, they wake Vishnu up this way, and they sing prayers that explain this Bhakti Vedanta personalist philosophy of his transcendental qualities. And so Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that by all the Vedas he is to be known. And so that's the goal of the Vedic knowledge, is really to understand Krishna. And how is Krishna known? How is he captured? In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna keeps repeating this theme: you will come to me, you will attain me, you can see me as I am, standing in this most beautiful form that even the demigods can't see, or rarely get to see. This is what Bhagavad Gita is teaching, is our goal, is not to merge and lose our identity in impersonal Brahman, but is to attain Krishna, and that is attainable, and we can enter into the kingdom of God only by unalloyed devotion. Bhaktya tvananyaya shakya hamevang vidhorjuna gyatung drashtung chitatvena praveshtum chaparantapa. In the end of chapter 11, and again in chapter 18, Krishna says, Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschashmi tatvataha tatomang tatvato gyatva vishate tad anantaram. So vishate in that verse doesn't mean to merge into God's identity, but means to enter into His understanding, enter into His world. I was just reading this morning in Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada, in chapter 2, in the very beginning of Krishna's instructions. He establishes, first of all, Natvevahang Jatunatang Nashang. We're all individuals, he says. Me, you, and all these kings on the battlefield, first person, second person, and third person. And he says, never was there a time when we did not exist. We're existing now, and never in the time, never will there be a time in the future that we don't exist. So past tense, present tense, future tense. That we are individuals. And then in the next verse he says that the embodied soul is passing from boyhood to youth to old age. And Srila Prabhupada says that the example of the reflection is applicable to the supersoul. That is, there's a soul, there's a supersoul along with every soul everywhere. And he's in all of the universes, and he's also in every atom that is scattered throughout the universe at one and the same time. So the example is given that the moon in the sky, it may be reflected in little puddles of water. And there may be 100 puddles of water, and each one you see the moon. So you think there's 100 moons, but actually they're just reflections of the one moon. So he says that this analogy is applicable